Hi, I'm Dawn and this is Where Shabby Meets Bling. Tonight it's all about Halloween and I am going to be using some unusual items to create an unusual project. This is Tricksters with Treats, all things Halloween. I would like to thank my co-host Martina from the Secret Craft Room and Tracy from Tracy Vanover Designs. You're going to find the link to this playlist and their channels in my description box below. My project started with spring cleanup in my yard, and you may remember these little beauties. They're not so beautiful now, but they were when I bought them last fall. They were part of my Shabby Chic Halloween video. I'll leave the link in the description box below. I salvaged 3 in total, but I'm only going to be working on 1 today. You can see here that he is damaged. Well, he's damaged all over, but the side of his right cheek needs to be mended, and I will take care of that with Mod Podge and paper towels. But before I do that, I have to clean him up. So with an old toothbrush and a little bit of bleach cleaner, I take care of all that because he is gonna get painted. So scrubbing, then repair, and then we will paint. So it's time to paint, and I am using a pumpkin chalk paint. It is a Hello Hubby from Walmart, and you can see inside there, if you peek inside, you can see the white. That is the paper towel and the Mod Podge drying because I'm going to paint the inside of this little guy as well. But I formed a brand new cheek. I did a little plastic surgery. I did a little paper surgery, paper or plastic. He said paper, please. So I mended him, and now he's going to get a nice coat of paint. And if I have to hit him a second time, I will. My little cheek repair is dry, and now I'm going to paint the inside of him black. And I am using a house paint. I am using a flat black house paint to paint the entire inside of my little jack-o'-lantern. His name's Hal, by the way. It's Hal. Mr. Ween. Mr. Ween, first name Hal. And he is... he's getting an entire coat of paint. I'm telling you guys, use house paint anytime you can. It's very, very practical, and it's very thrifty, and I like to be thrifty. This can has gone a long, long way. So Hal's nice and dry, and I think Hal needs some arms. So I am going to make some arms for him just out of wire. I am being a klutz right now, but I'm trying to figure out how long I want his little arms to be. I want them kind of exaggerated, and I need to leave myself a little extra bit of wire to go inside when I attach these arms to his little head, his body head, whatever he's gonna be. So I am just measuring out what I think a good length for his arm and his little hand is going to be. I am just using my needle nose pliers to form little fingers because he's going to have little hands too. He's going to be holding some stuff. So little dude needs some fingers, and I am just bending and forming. Sorry about my melon. I'm working with a new tripod and I don't like it. I'm trying to figure it out, so I apologize. But yes, so I'm just using my needle nose pliers to form little tiny fingers, and then I will take the next step. And that next step is hot glue. I am going to be running hot glue up and down his little arms and all over his little hands to create a texture very similar to his stem, because I want it to look like vine, like dried vine when it's all said and done. So it's going to take a few layers, and you put some on and you let it dry, and then you put some more on and let it dry or cool, however you want to look at it. And I did end up adding 2 tiny little pieces of wire on each hand, so it would take up more of that space so that the glue would have something to adhere to. Since Hal is showing off his inside, so to speak, I feel that we need to represent what would be inside of a pumpkin that has sat outside and rotted over the winter. I leave my pumpkins outside because I allow my little critters, my squirrels and my raccoons, to eat the seeds. Well, they didn't eat all the seeds on this guy, so I'm so happy about that. But I am using orange embroidery floss to represent kind of that stringy stuff that you would see inside a pumpkin, you know, when you go to carve it and you have to dig all that junk out. Well, I am cutting strips, little pieces of embroidery floss, and I'm going to coat them with the Podge. So they're going to get some Mod Podge, and then I'm going to let them sit and dry. And I'm cutting quite a few pieces because I don't know how many I'm going to use just yet. So I think in total I probably cut and Mod Podged maybe a dozen or so of these strings. It has been well established that I keep everything, so of course I'm going to keep Hal's innards because now I'm going to use them. They are nice and dry, a little dirty. I will dust them off as I go, but I'm going to be using some of this pumpkin inside goots, his goots. I'm going to take my little embroidery floss that I Mod Podged, and I'm going to take some of the seeds, and I've also added some of just snacky seeds because I wanted a variety of sizes. So I added some of bagged snack seeds, which is this big guy right here, and it also gives me a variety of color. So I'm using 3-in-1 glue to glue all of my little pumpkin seeds onto my embroidery floss. When I am assembling all the components for Hal, these will hang on the inside, kind of down from the top and around his eye, and hopefully it gives me the look of that stringy pumpkin gut look that you get when you carve into a pumpkin. Here's Hal's little arms, and you can see the 2 extra wires that I added in his little hands. And my first coat of paint is going to be olive oil. It is a Waverly chalk paint, and this is just a base coat. And there will be 2 other colors that go on top of this. I'm going to apply Plaster and Hazelnut after this is totally dry. And if some of this shines through, fabulous. My goal here is to coordinate with the stem that Hal has, because I'm not painting that stem. I like that dried, brittle, kind of gross look of it all, and I am going to try to mimic that look with his little arms because I want them to look just as gnarly as that stem does. Now Hal needs some eyes. He needs to see where he's going because I think he's gonna go trick-or-treating, pretty sure. So I'm just using a couple 1.5-inch styrofoam balls, and I'm hot gluing some wire into the back of each of them, and they are going to get a couple of coats of Waverly white chalk paint. And now to start his iris, I am using Celery, and this is Waverly as well, and I am just forming a nice circle to create that iris all the way around. And I am moving my left hand more than I'm moving my right hand because it will help me create a rounded, nice circle. And once I get both of the irises in, then I'm going to come back and add those little sparks of different color in the iris that you always see in people's eyes. And Hal needs the same thing because he's got a little bit of sparkle in him too. So I'm going to use Tuscan Sun and Hazelnut to create some little highlights in his eyes. And then I will come back with my black chalk paint and create his pupil. I will finish off his eyes with a couple of coats of gloss Mod Podge. So whether or not Hal goes trick-or-treating or just to a Halloween party, he's gonna need a disguise. He's gonna need a mask. So I have just drawn out a little a sketch of kind of the vague idea of what I want to make for his little mask. I mean, I could have bought one because the size I would need would be about the same, or I could have scrounged through what I have in my Halloween stuff, but I wanted to actually make it. So I am just getting my template ready, and then once it is ready, I will transfer it onto cardboard as per usual. Then I'm going to cut it out, and I'm actually going to paint it because this will be the back of his little mask. I'm going to paint the side that has the logo on it, the color, in a chalk paint, because this will be the back side of the mask. The brown cardboard side is going to get glued to this. This is a piece of foam. It's a glittery black foam. I picked it up at Hobby Lobby, and this is going to be the front of his little mask. So I take my template and I cut out the exact same shape as I did with the cardboard, and then I'm going to use my 3-in-1 glue to glue both of those components together. I really like the mask, but I feel that it is not dimensional enough. So I am going to bust out my dimensional paint, my black. It's going to be black metallic that I'm going to use here. And I am going to then use some glitter to cover that black metallic paint. So this will give it some dimension and a little bit more bling, because I like some bling. This is just a random design that I'm putting on here, just something for more dimension. Once it's dry, I am going to take a used popsicle stick. I'm going to paint it with black chalk paint, and then I'm going to add this little detail ribbon down the front of it. I'm also going to enhance my mask a little bit more with these beautiful ribbons. Those large pumpkins weren't the only things out in my yard. I have a few of these little mini pumpkins that dried up just fabulous, and I'm going to clean this guy up, and he is going to get that pumpkin Hello Hobby chalk paint as well. He is going to get painted that pumpkin color, and he is going to be held in the hand of Hal, because this is Hal's little baby. This is baby Hal Jr. And he wants to go wherever his daddy's going this Halloween. Let's check out how last year's grubby leftovers came out. Well, here's Hal's mask. One of his eyes got stuck in his mask. Poor Hal. At least he can see where he's going. Very subtle detail on my mask. I didn't want anything too flamboyant because I didn't want to take away from Hal himself. I did add some black feathers, and you can see the little bows I created on the little handle of his mask. And here is Hal. There he is, one eye in place. He still has some teeth. And there's baby Hal in his other little withered hand. And you can see that I matched pretty well his little scrawny, scabby, viney arms to his stem. Ooh, and look at those pumpkin guts. Think it looks legit. Some pumpkin seeds, embroidery floss, some Mod Podge, and a little bit of glue, and you have some authentic looking pumpkin innards. And his eye, he's looking up at Hal. He's like, what are we doing, Hal? Hal Jr., where are we going? Let's go to a party. I drilled 3 tiny holes in either side of his little face body to adhere his arms. Then I bent the wires in 3 different directions. Then I did the same as I did when I gave him his little plastic surgery, some Mod Podge and some paper towels, and I made patches on the inside so you can't even see how I attached his little arms. Then I painted it all black. Thanks again to Martina and Tracy for joining me in Tricksters with Treats. All things Halloween. You're going to find the links to their channels as well as this playlist in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, share it with your family and friends and anybody that loves holidays, especially Halloween and Halloween decor. You can follow me on Instagram and check out my shop on Etsy. Leave me a comment. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Ring the bell for notifications of my latest videos and subscribe. It's the best way to support my channel. But for now, this is Dawn with Shabby Meets Bling. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.